Hello, friends, and welcome back to Sent, Living on Mission. This series is based on several key scriptures. First, the Great Commandment. You know this one. Love God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself. Then there's the Great Commission, where Jesus says, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. Then he says this, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Mm-hmm. These are two of the most famous and most important scriptures in the Bible. And then we're focusing on a third verse. This is where the name of our series actually comes from. It's in the Gospel of John and occurs after the resurrection. Jesus said to those who followed him, peace be with you. As the Father sent me, I am sending you. Mm. We are a sent people, sent to love God, sent to love others, and sent to make a difference in the world. We have been sent on a mission to love God and to love people, and we're talking about it in the different places, here in the local church, near in our community, and far away, wherever there are needs. This requires us to become intentional with our time, our energy, and our resources.
So far in this series, Sent, we have talked about the overall goal of living on mission, and then last week about focusing our efforts in the local church. Here at Harvest, there are so many opportunities for you to jump in. Did you do that last week? If so, we hope that you'll take the time in your group to share where you're going to be stepping in. Hopefully your group will encourage you as you step out and try something new. Now, today our focus is on being sent to those near us, people in our community that need help. You know, there's so many ways to live that out. Right here in our community, there's foster care, Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity, food pantries, literacy programs, homeless shelters, prison ministries, tutoring centers.
A lot of great opportunities.
So many things. Many of our small groups have recently partnered with some of these agencies in our area to get involved in really practical ways to care for people who are hurting in our area. As we've gotten more involved, what we found is there's a lot that can be done around us.
That's why we have to intentionally look for ways to plug in. If we're not intentional, we're probably never going to get involved, and we may just miss it. Most of us are pretty busy. We work, we go to school, or we do our own thing, and we try to find a moment to chill. Yeah. But some of that chill energy could be spent helping those in need in our area. Yeah. Proverbs 3:28 says, never tell your neighbors to wait until tomorrow if you can help them now. Let that verse sink in. There are people who need help right around you, and they need it now. Our missions coordinator, Josh, has been spending time meeting with directors of local ministries about things happening near us. Recently, he met with the directors of our local Salvation Army Safe House. They help abused men and women and children who are fleeing from domestic violence. When he was telling us about their work, he said, if one of our small groups partnered with them, just one would do this, it would transform how they do ministry.
I actually heard him talking about this after he had gone to visit the good work that they're doing. And I thought, well, my group could probably do that. We've needed an actual, mission partner to come alongside, and we got involved. Sometimes the needs, it seems like there are so many out there that we don't do much of anything. I've fallen guilty of that. But when we got involved, I realized we might not can do everything, but we sure can do something.
You ladies raised, you got a lot of...
We did. So we filled a whole trailer in like 2 weeks' time. Yeah, thanks for that. We did not unpack it. But getting involved, it was like, wow, we can do something. Not everything, but we can do something. So at least for our group, we're going to partner with them over the long term, not just to take on a project, but to develop a partnership. My dad, my precious dad, one of his favorite verses is Micah 6:8. Yeah. And it says, what does the Lord require of you? That's a good question. Well, he requires us to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God.
That's a good verse.
It's a foundational verse for justice, compassion, and humility that is put into action. This verse, and there are many others like it, call us to do something with our faith and to do it for those around us.
One of my hopes for every person in our congregation is that we each find a way to make a difference. First in the local church by joining a weekly ministry team. That's here. Then the near, in our community, by partnering with a ministry to help those in need right here in our area. Those partnerships can be done by family groups. Your family can go do these. It can be done by individuals or do it with your community group.
Yeah.
However it works best for you. Find a way to make a difference right here in Middle Georgia. Next week, we're going to talk about some of the ways we as a church family have and continue to work with strategic partners to do some big things around the globe. But our focus today is the local community, near. Those living right around us who are in need. Those people that are near.
Galatians 6:9-10 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good."
Don't get tired of doing good.
Don't get tired. As you have the opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong within the family of believers. This is Paul encouraging the church. Don't get burned out. Don't get fed up, because sometimes we do something good and maybe it doesn't come back to us in the way we hope. We give, we wonder where our money went, we help somebody and we don't get a thank you.
We don't feel appreciated.
Spend lots of energy to make a difference and then we're treated poorly. What do we do then? We keep going. We do what it says in Galatians. We don't become weary. Instead, we do all the good to all the people we can. And Paul adds, especially to those who are in the family of God.
Now, you have a kind of a funny story about one of your first experiences.
One of my very first mission experiences when I was a teenager. I was kind of a young teenager, but in order to do the big mission projects that our church did, you had to do some things locally. And so I had to get my hours of service in. So I signed up along with some other people in our church to help one of the ladies who lived around our church, an elderly lady, put a new roof on her house. I don't know what I was thinking. It was like July in Georgia on a roof. It was hot. It was really hard work.
A little hard for me to picture Jennifer Coward on the roof.
I did it. This was, yes, I did this. It was so hot. It was so hard, but we were committed. We were going to help this lady, and I had idealized what it would be like. This sense of camaraderie, working together, her appreciation, serving us lemonade as we crawled down off the roof. It didn't go like that, okay? Here's what happened. We get out there really early when the sun comes up because it's 400 degrees on the sun on top of that roof. So we get there, and a couple of hours in, I'm like, man, I need to get some water and I need to use the restroom, as one does.
2 basic needs.
Basic human needs. So I thought, well, let me go knock on, and just ask her if she can help me out here. Well, I knock on her door. She doesn't come. I knock a little louder. I can't drive. I'm not old enough to drive myself to the corner, restroom or whatever. And I said, ma'am, hey, it's so hot. Would it be okay if I got, a glass of water and used your restroom? And she yelled at me and said, well, you should have thought about that before you got here. I thought, I did think about that. I did have some water this morning. And
that was 6 hours ago.
I did use the restroom, but it's a long time since then. Anyway, she was so mean. Well, what are we going to do? So I go back to my youth leader who can drive because I'm going to need some help now. And I said, here's what just happened. And he said, well, you okay with that? I was like, no, because number one, I still need to go to the bathroom. And number two, why is she being so mean? And I remember these words. He said, when you serve and get treated like a servant, that's when you have to decide if you're really going to serve. I didn't love that moment. But it has proved over all these years to be a really important lesson, because when we say we want to serve, sometimes we get treated like a servant. Jesus did. And for me that day, it was just a really practical, we're going to still help this lady, and it may not be a great experience.
Sometimes there's applause, sometimes there's appreciation, sometimes there's thanks. And sometimes
you got to go to the corner restroom. That's right.
It's great to serve others when you get a hug and a thank you.
That's great.
But that doesn't always happen.
No.
Even Jesus didn't always get appreciation. Do you remember the story of the 10 lepers that were healed? It's in Luke 17, verse 11. Here's what we read. As Jesus traveled to Jerusalem, he passed through a village where 10 men with leprosy stood at a distance, and they called out,
social outcasts.
Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And Jesus told them, go and show yourselves to the priest. Now, this was a standard practice then. As they went, they were healed.
That's amazing.
Jesus heals them.
Yes.
But only one of the 10, a Samaritan, came back to thank Jesus. He praised God in a loud voice, threw himself at Jesus' feet, and expressed deep gratitude. And Jesus asked, Were not all 10 of you cleansed? Where are the other 9? These men had leprosy, a disease that not only affected their skin, but it made them outcasts in society. Their healing was physical, but it was also relational and emotional. Their lives were restored because of what Jesus did. But only one of those guys took the time to come back and to say, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, was Jesus fed up? Did he quit doing miracles because people were ungrateful? Did he say, I knew it, you hard-headed people, you're not thankful for anything? No, he didn't do any of that. In the next chapter, we read of him healing a blind man. He kept doing what was right, and he kept being kind and gracious and merciful and giving anyway.
I like that. Jesus came to serve, and he calls us to do the same. So take a moment to ask yourself, how has God wired you? We've asked this question before. What are you passionate about? Because God designed you with a heart to have those passions. It may be at-risk children, the homeless, caring for the elderly, sex trafficking, literacy, food insecurity. I want you to take some time to get alone with the Lord and really pray and say, how have you designed me to make a difference?
You know, God's given us different passions because there's so many things.
So many things. We
He
can't
wants it
all do the one
Right.
same thing. If you need help identifying organizations to partner with, you can get in touch with Sandra here in our office, our community group coordinator, or with Josh, who works with missions. There are so many ways that you can get involved here in our area. This is our near focus. You can't do everything, but you can do something.
Have you ever had a moment where you see something in the world, maybe on TV or the news or just in the community, and you think somebody ought to do something about that?
Yeah.
You may want to pause the next time that happens and pray and say, God, is it me? Am I the one? Is God laying this on my heart? Philippians 2 says, let each of you look not only to your own interest, but also to the interest of others. Harvest, friends, I love you guys, and I'm proud of the ways that you make a difference around here in ministry. But we can do more. Let's overwhelm this community, our community, by caring for those in need. If you look for those that are hurting, if you look for those in need, and you do something, that's ministry, and that's pleasing to God.